I woke up as the thunder shook the house, just in time to see the power fade. My dog was freaking out, as usual. He hates storms, you see. When the lights go out, he scampers from room to room, his nails going clickety click on my hardwood floors. I've never seen a pet so afraid of the dark. As I rummaged through my nightstand to find a flashlight, he stopped and yelped. Calm down, Max, I'm looking for it. I heard his nails against the floor as he found his way back to me in the dark. Finally, pulling out the flashlight, I clicked it on to make him feel better. Come on, Max, I've got the light. Scanning my room with the light from my bed, I caught a glimpse of his nose from behind a bookcase. Come on, boy, it's okay. He peeked his head out barely, with a look of frozen terror in his eyes, then pulled it back again. Whatever, I'm thirsty anyway. I got up and stumbled to the kitchen, then stopped dead in my tracks. What lay before me made me nearly vomit. Sprawled across the floor was my dog, splattered in blood. His head had been hacked off. As I tried to recover, I heard the clicking of nails on the floor approaching from behind me. Around 4 a.m., there was a call at a local fire station in Pensacola, Florida. When they heard an answer, they heard the screams of many people and the sound of crackling fire. The fireman yelled in astonishment for the person to tell them their location right away. They heard not just one person using the phone, but everyone. They heard screaming before answering in unison. 1242 Westbrook Apartment Complex D. The firefighters all rushed over and looked in astonishment as the apartment complex was completely unharmed. They took a precaution and evacuated everyone from the complex. Grumpy and groggy, the people living inside took their pets and children and waited outside. The firefighters did a clean run-through of the apartment, but before the chief firefighter was about to release the waiting owners, an explosion on the lower part of the complex occurred. Flames started appearing rapidly in all of the windows, and the apartment slowly began to turn to ash and cinders. Upon further inspection, they found a gas pipe had ruptured and was ignited by a water heater's flame. The firefighters were shocked when they saw what occurred and remembered the call. When they tried to contact the number again to thank the caller, they only received the following response. We're sorry, this number no longer exists. Perhaps you dialed the wrong number. Please hang up or try the number again. And thank you for saving them. In France, a young ambient musician by the name of Charles undertook an interesting new project. He was going to record the sound of himself sleeping and release it under the name La Nuit, the night. Charles lived alone in a rural area, which would remove things like car alarms, traffic, and such from being recorded. He planned his project for many months, acquiring the sensitive equipment to capture all outside noises, as well as his own during sleep. Finally, on the 27th of September, he decided to execute his plan. He set up all his equipment and fell asleep at midnight. The next day, Charles reviewed the recording. For the first hour, the recording played his own tossings and turnings, as well as some distant dog barks and a few car alarms. So much for his plan to distance himself from cars. These continued throughout the second hour as well, until Charles heard something that horrified him. For at exactly 3 hours and 24 minutes in, the recording played the sound of his bedroom door opening. When you are admitted to a hospital, they place on your wrist a white wristband with their name on it, but there are other different colored wristbands which symbolize other things. The red wristbands are placed on dead people. There was one surgeon who worked on night shift in a school hospital. He had just finished an operation and was on his way down to the basement. He entered the elevator, and there was just one other person there. He casually chatted with the woman while the elevator descended. When the elevator door opened, another woman was about to enter when the doctor slammed the close button and punched the button to the highest floor. Surprised, the woman reprimanded the doctor for being rude and asked why he did not let the other woman in. The doctor said, "That was the woman I just operated on. She died while I was doing the operation. Didn't you see the red wristband she was wearing?" The woman smiled, raised her arm, and said, "Something like this." One cold winter night, 16-year-old Katie was home alone. It had been snowing all that afternoon, but had just recently stopped. After studying for a few hours, she decided to relax a little. The television was positioned in front of one side of the glass sliding door that led to a patio and the backyard. By midnight, Katie's parents still hadn't come home, and she was gripped with fear because from the corner of her eye, she could have sworn she caught a glimpse of a very strange-looking man staring at her, standing outside the glass door behind the television. Katie called the police, and soon there was a patrol car not far from her house. The police showed up, and Katie told them about the stranger who was standing outside, staring in through the glass. The police opened the glass sliding door and looked around. They explained to her that there could not have been anyone standing out there, as there would be footprints in the snow. As they were about to leave, one of the cops noticed something behind the couch. There were wet footprints on the carpet behind the couch. She hadn't seen the man outside the door. She'd seen his reflection when he was standing behind her. A girl got on a train one night. She sat down opposite this woman, who was sat between two men. She wasn't too bothered about them, except the fact that the woman seemed to be staring at her. But she couldn't quite see because the woman had her hood up. At the next stop, a man got on the train and sat next to the girl. After about 5 minutes, the guy whispered to the girl, "Get off the next stop with me. It's important that you trust me." At the next stop, the girl got off the train with the man and watched the train speed by. The man then turned to the girl and said, "Thank God, I'm a doctor," and that woman was dead. The two men beside her were holding her up.